Listen to me and listen close. The biggest lie you've ever told is the one you tell yourself every morning when you look in that mirror and say, it's not my fault. You want to blame the economy. You want to blame your boss. You want to blame the fact that your father wasn't there or that the system is rigged against you. And you know what? Maybe some of that is true. Maybe the deck is stacked. As long as the reason you're failing is out there, the solution has to come from out there, too. And if you're waiting for the world to come save you, you've already lost the war. You are sitting in a prison with an open door. You won't walk out because you're too busy pointing at the guard. Extreme ownership isn't about being fair. It's about being free. It's about looking at your empty bank account, looking at your failing health, looking at your broken relationships, and having the courage to say, I am the architect of this mess. Because the moment you admit you're the reason it's broken, you become the only person on the planet with the power to fix it. Most of you are playing a game of hide and seek with your own potential. You're hiding in the shadows of, it's complicated and I'm trying. No, you aren't trying. You're existing. You're drifting. You're letting life happen to you instead of happening to life. You need to have a confrontation with the person in the mirror. You need to get raw. You need to get ugly with the truth. You need to stand in the middle of your living room and shout it until the walls shake. I am in this position because of the choices I made, the discipline I lacked, and the standards I lowered. That declaration is the most violent act you can commit against your old self. It's an execution of the victim. When you declare that today is your rock bottom, you are drawing a line in the sand that the universe cannot ignore. You are telling your circumstances that they no longer have permission to dictate your mood, your effort, or your outcome. You are identifying the floor, not so you can sit on it and cry, so you have something solid to kick off of. You can't build a skyscraper on a swamp. You need a foundation. And the only foundation that holds up under the pressure of greatness is the cold, hard truth of ownership. You have to stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a master of craft. When you take extreme ownership, you stop complaining about the wind and you start adjusting the sails. You stop waiting for a hand up and you start using your hands to build. You have to realize that nobody is coming to rescue you. No politician is going to write a bill that makes you disciplined. No lottery ticket is going to give you character. Lucky break is going to sustain a man who hasn't built the muscles of the grind. You have to own the 200 a.m. thoughts. You have to own the missed opportunities. You have to own the fact that you've been lazy. You've been scared. You've been settling for good enough while greatness was calling your name. This declaration is your contract with destiny. It's the moment you stop being a spectator in your own life. When you look at your struggle and say, today is the brokiest I'll ever be. You aren't just talking about money. You're talking about your spirit. You're talking about your effort. You're saying that the version of you that accepts crumbs is dead. You are identifying the floor so you can stand on it with both feet, chest out, chin up, ready to climb. If you don't own the bottom, you can never own the top. You have to be willing to be the villain in your old story so you can be the hero in your new one. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because once you own it, you control it. And once you control it, you can change it. Stop making excuses and start making history. Listen to me. The most dangerous place on earth isn't a war zone. It isn't a dark alley. It isn't a sinking ship. The most dangerous place on earth is a comfortable couch with a good enough paycheck and a could be worse attitude. You want to know why you haven't reached the next level yet? It's because you aren't miserable enough. You're just kind of tired of being broke. You're sort of annoyed by the struggle. You're frustrated, but you aren't disgusted. Until you get disgusted, you will never have the power to change. Comfort is a slow death. It's the anesthesia that keeps you asleep while life passes you by. You've settled into a routine of mediocrity because it doesn't hurt quite enough to make you move. You're in a lukewarm bath. While you're sitting there relaxing, the water is cooling down until eventually you're frozen in place. You've grown accustomed to the smell of failure, so you don't even notice it anymore. You have to understand that your excuses are the bricks you're using to build your own prison. You say, at least I have a job, or at least I'm doing better than the guy next door. Stop comparing yourself to people who aren't going where you're going. If you want to be a lion, stop measuring yourself against sheep. You're using at least as a shield to protect your ego from the truth that you are settling for crumbs while there's a feast waiting for you. You are sort of hungry, but you aren't starving. And let me tell you something, the man who is starving will outwork the man who is sort of hungry every single day of the week. The man who is starving doesn't care if it's raining. He doesn't care if he's tired. He doesn't care about the odds. He just knows he needs to eat. But you're full on distractions. You're full on social media. You're full on cheap entertainment. You've fed your spirit junk food for so long that you've lost the taste for greatness. You need to wake up and realize that good enough is the enemy of best. You've allowed yourself to become a prisoner of the average because it feels safe. There is no safety in the middle. The middle is where dreams go to die. The middle is where the world grinds you down until you're just another cog in the machine. You have to become allergic to average. You need to get to a point where the very thought of staying where you are for another 6 months makes you want to scream. You need to be so repulsed by your current situation that it forces you into action. Most people fail because they wait for inspiration or the right time. The right time is when you can't stand yourself anymore. The right time is when the pain of staying the same is finally greater than the pain of changing. You are justifying your stagnation by calling it patience. No, it's not patience, it's paralysis. You're waiting for a sign, but your empty bank account eyes the sign. Your unfulfilled potential eyes the sign. The fact that you're watching someone else live your dream while you're sitting in the bleachers, ISTCI. You need to get up out of that seat. You need to stop being a fan and start being a player. Disgusted with the fact that you're living a life that doesn't require any courage. Get disgusted with the fact that you haven't broken a sweat for your future in years. Transformation doesn't come from a place of peace. It comes from a place of holy frustration. It comes when you look at your life and say, I am too big for this small world I built. You were designed for impact, but you're settling for an existence. Break out of the comfort zone. It's a coffin with a view. Stop being comfortable with being less than who you were created to be. Disgusted, get angry, and get moving. Look at me. You need to understand something fundamental. Broke is a temporary economic condition, but poverty is a permanent state of mind. You can give a man with a poverty mindset $1 million today, and by next year, he'll be right back where he started or worse. Why? He hasn't changed the software. He's still running Broke 1.0 on a high-speed machine. You are broke right now because your internal architecture is crumbling. Your habits are broke. Your discipline is broke. Your morning routine is broke. You're trying to decorate a house that has a cracked foundation. You want the stuff, the clothes, the cars, the status, but you haven't done the internal work to become the person who can sustain that level of success. You're asking for a harvest when you haven't even prepared the soil. I need you to realize that your current bank account is just a delayed reflection of your past thoughts and actions. If you want a different result, you need to stop obsessing over the how and start looking at the who. Who are you becoming? Are you the kind of person who keeps their word to themselves? Are you the kind of person who wakes up before the competition? Or are you the person who looks for the easy way out, the shortcut, the get-rich-quick scheme? Poverty is the result of choosing the path of least resistance over and over again. It's the result of small, seemingly insignificant decisions to quit when it gets hard. You've been budgeting your effort instead of budgeting your money. You're stingy with your sweat. You're trying to bargain with the universe for a discount on greatness. Let me tell you, there are no discounts. The price is the price. You've got to reprogram the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. A poverty mindset sees obstacles. Wealth mindset sees opportunities. A poverty mindset says, I can't afford it. A wealth mindset asks, how can I afford it? One shuts down the brain, the other wakes it up. You've been programmed by your environment, by your friends, maybe even by your family to think small. You've been told to be realistic. Realistic is just another word for average. Realistic is what people use to justify their own failure. You need to get delusional. You need to believe in a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. You need to start thinking like a CEO when you're still sweeping the floors. You need to carry yourself with the dignity of a king while you're still wearing rags. Because if you don't respect your own potential, nobody else will. Your why is weak, and that's why your will is failing. You're trying to get rich for the sake of being rich. That's not enough to get you through the 400 a.m. grind. You need a why that makes you cry. You need a why that makes it impossible to sleep in. Is it your daughter's future? Is it the fact that your parents worked 2 jobs so you could have a chance? Is it the deep, burning desire to prove to yourself that you aren't a failure? When your why is big enough, the how becomes easy. When you're just chasing paper, you'll quit the first time the wind blows against you. You have to rebuild your internal architecture from the ground up. You have to install a new operating system based on discipline, resilience, and faith. You have to start seeing yourself as a producer, not just a consumer. Stop watching other people's highlights and start creating your own. Change the internal, and I promise you, the external will have no choice but to follow. Listen to me. Most of you are playing around with your life like you've got a backup copy. You're acting like you're in a scrimmage, but you are in the 4th quarter of the championship game, and you're down by 20 points. You think you're trying. No, you are playing soft. You are treating your dreams like a hobby while the world is treating your survival like a business. You need to understand that this is a fight. It's not a debate. It's not a negotiation. It's a war for your destiny. And right now, the enemy is winning because you're showing up to a gunfight with a water pistol. You're showing up with, I'll see how I feel. I don't care how you feel. Your feelings are the biggest liars in your life. Your feelings told you to sleep in. Your feelings told you it's okay to take a day off. Your feelings are trying to keep you broke. You have to get urgent. You have to realize that every second you spend procrastinating is a second you're stealing from your children's future. Every time you half step on a project, you are literally taking food off your own table 5 years from now. You have to work like there is a hit out on your average life. You have to work like the repo man is standing in your driveway, not because he's there today, but because you know if you don't change, he's coming tomorrow. Urgency is the difference between a dreamer and a doer. A dreamer says, someday. A doer says, right now. A doer understands that time is the only commodity you can't buy back. You can lose money and get it back. You can lose a job and get a better one. You cannot get back the 24 hours you just wasted scrolling through someone else's highlight reel. Why are you so relaxed? Why are you so calm about being at the bottom? You should be in a panic. Not a panic of fear, but a panic of purpose. You should be moving with such speed and such intensity that people around you think you've lost your mind. When you're in a burning building, you don't walk out casually. You don't check your emails. You don't stop to see who's calling you. You break windows. You do whatever it takes to get to the oxygen. Well, guess what? Your current situation is a burning building. Your poverty is a burning building. Your lack of discipline is a burning building. And you're sitting there in the middle of the flames, wondering why you're hot. Get out. Move with some fire. Move with some passion. Move like your life depends on it. Because IT dolls. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth invented by people who are too scared to start. The moment is now because the moment is all you have. You've been waiting for the stars to align, for the economy to shift, for your boss to notice you. Stop waiting for permission to be great. The world isn't going to give it to you. You have to take it. You have to be aggressive. You have to be relentless. You have to be the kind of person who sees a no as a not yet and a stop as a find another way. You are in a fight against time, against poverty, and against the version of you that wants to quit. And let me tell you, that version of you is strong. It's been well fed for years. It knows all your weaknesses. It knows exactly what to say to make you give up. The only way to beat that version of you is to outwork it. You have to be more urgent about your success than you are about your comfort. You have to be more desperate for the win than you are for the rest. This is a life or death battle for the legacy you leave behind. Don't you dare show up to this fight unprepared. Don't you dare play soft with your life. Wake up, get urgent, and fight G. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. Listen to me. Most people run from pain. They see a challenge and they retreat. They feel the sting of failure and they hide. But if you want to be great, you've got to learn how to eat pain for breakfast. You've got to learn how to take every embarrassment, every late notice bill, and every time someone looked down on you, and you've got to put that in your gas tank. Pain is the highest form of energy on this planet if you know how to process it. You're sitting there crying because you're broke. Stop crying and start grinding. Use that tears to lubricate the machine. Use that frustration to power the late nights. You have to reach a point where your pain becomes your power. When you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you think you can't go another step, I want you to remember the look on your mama's face when she had to work that double shift. I want you to remember the feeling in your gut when you couldn't provide. Pain is your why, and that why has to be stronger than your what. Look at the greats. They didn't get there because life was easy, because they were forged in the fire. You think a diamond just happens. No, it's just a piece of coal that handled the pressure. You are currently under pressure, and you have a choice. You can either crush and turn into dust, or you can hold it together and turn into a diamond. Every struggle you are going through right now is preparing you for the level you claimed you wanted. You said you wanted to be a CEO. You said you wanted to be a world-class athlete. You said you wanted to be a millionaire. Well, millionaire version of you has to be able to handle more pain than the broke. Version of you, if you can't handle the pain of the process, you will never handle the weight of the prize. Stop asking for the burden to be lighter and start asking for your back to be stronger. I need you to audit your past. Think about every person who ever doubted you. Think about the teacher who said you'd never amount to anything. Think about the ex who left you because you weren't enough. Don't be mad at them. Be grateful for them. They gave you the best gift you could ever receive. They gave you something to prove. They gave you a reason to outwork the world. When you feel like giving up, I want you to picture their faces. I want you to hear their voices telling you that you're a failure. And I want you to use that anger, use that hurt, and channel it into your work. You aren't working for a paycheck anymore. You're working for your respect. You're working to prove that the version of you they saw was just the beginning. Your pain is not a prison, it is a portal. It is the gateway to the next version of yourself. You have to be willing to walk through the fire to get to the other side. The problem with most of you is that you're soft. You want the glory without the story. You want the mountaintop without the climb. But the climb is where the muscle is built. The pain is where the character is formed. If you haven't been through anything, you don't have anything to give. You have to be able to look at your scars and see them as medals of honor. Those scars say you survived. Those scars say you didn't quit when it got hard. Those scars say you have the authority to speak. Use that history. Use that struggle. When you feel like you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on, because the breakthrough is on the other side of the endurance. You are not a victim of your past. You are the victor because of it. Take the hurt, take the shame, take the disappointment, and use it as the high-octane fuel that drives you toward your destiny. Don't let your pain go to waste. Get a return on your investment. Stay obsessed, stay hungry, and use the fire to light your way out of the darkness. This is it. This is the moment of impact. You've listened to the words. You felt the fire, but now you have to make a choice. Are you going to close this document and go back to the same person you were 10 minutes ago? Are you going to go back to the same least attitude and the same someday dreams? Or is this the moment the old you dies? You need to understand that transformation isn't a slow walk. It's an execution. You have to be willing to hunt down the version of you that is lazy, the version of you that is scared, the version of you that makes excuses, and you have to put them to rest once and for all. You cannot bring your old baggage into your new season. You cannot build a phenomenal life with a mediocre spirit. You have to be born again in the fire of your own discipline. This is the transformation point. This is where the talk stops and the walk begins. Look at the clock. Every tick is a reminder that your time is running out. You don't have forever to be great. You don't have forever to fulfill your purpose. You need to start moving with a level of intensity that scares people. I want you to outwork the sun. I want you to be up and grinding before the birds are even awake. I want you to be the last one out of the office, the last one off the court, and the last one to stop thinking about how to get to the next level. You are in a race against your own history. Your history says you're a quitter. Your history says you're average. Your history says you'll never be more than what you are right now. You have to out-hustle that history. You have to create a new record of wins that is so loud, so dominant, and so undeniable that it silences the ghost of your past. You have to realize that the world doesn't care about your potential. The world only cares about your performance. Potential is just a fancy word for you haven't done it yet. Stop talking about what you could do and start showing the world what you are doing. You need to become a person of action. You need to become a person whose word is law. If you say you're going to wake up at 400 a.m., you wake up at 400 a.m. If you say you're going to work 12 hours, you work 12 hours. If you say you're going to be the best in your field, then you better be the first one in and the last one out. This is about integrity. This is about respect. This is about the fact that you refuse to let another day go by where you aren't becoming the best version of yourself. This is the end of the line for the brokiest version of you. From this second forward, you are a producer. You are a creator. You are a winner. You have identified the floor, and you have used it as a platform to launch. Every struggle you face from here on out is just a test to see if you really want what you said you wanted. When the world tries to knock you back down, and it will, you stand your ground. You look that challenge in the eye and you say, I've been at the bottom, I've seen the darkness, and I am MVR going back. You are built for this. You are forged in the fire. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Now I need you to get up. I need you to breathe. And I need you to go out there and take everything that belongs to you. Don't you dare stop until you're proud.